This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in London at open workouts and I'm joined by Kongo. Chris, it's always a pleasure. How are you doing?
All good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Obviously, I appreciate you giving up some time just before you're about to get in the ring. Sebastian Formella, your next opponent. Naturally, people are going to make comparisons to when Conor Benn fought him. Has that run through your mind in the build-up to this fight?
No, I don't care about Conor Benn. I care about myself, about how I'm going to do in the fight. So for me, it's what I've been working on and just what we've been drilling, which is going to pay off in the fight. So it's a great fight and I can't wait to showcase my skills. This is what it's about now.
So what are you expecting in this fight and how much of the Formella fight with Conor have you studied, if anything at all?
Say that again, sorry?
What are you expecting from this fight then, Chris, and how much of Sebastian's fight with Conor have you studied?
Well, I've studied bits and pieces, so yeah, it should be good. But the main thing is about me. So I've studied myself and what I need to do to get in there and beat this guy in great fashion. So that's the main thing for me.
What are you hoping to show then, Chris? You just said you've focused on yourself more so than anything else, and how you need to approach it to win in great fashion. What do you need to do to be able to do so?
Well, I can't tell you my the game plan, but the game plan is pretty solid, and I've seen it with all different fighters, with how Ben Davison works, and now he's got that with me, and now you're going to see a brilliant performance. That's all I can tell you.
Obviously, we know that team up with Ben and with Barry, who's here today. How much do you feel you've come on since working with them?
Well, that's for you guys to see and decide. Obviously, my family, the coaches are happy with me. So if they're happy, then I must be doing something right. But I never forget there's always room for improvement. So I always stay focused here, never lose track of anything.
Now, obviously, I've mentioned Conor a few times earlier, and the only reason I've done so, Chris, is because I spoke to him on Tuesday, and I mentioned kind of a domestic scene. If there's anyone who he'd like to face, and he said he feels a little disappointed because he feels like there's nobody who's up there with him. He feels like he's at the top domestically, and there's no kind of big fights on the horizon for him now that Carl Brook and Amir Khan have both retired. Do you understand where he's coming from, or do you disagree with that? Do you believe one day yourself and Conor could share the ring?
I understand where he's coming from. He's got to wait for people to build, you know what I mean? But at the same time, he ain't had no domestic fights. So he's just come and just tried to get his way up to world level, which, can you blame him? No. Obviously, his dad, being Nigel Benn, of course, was able to fast track him up there. So I mean, you can't blame that. If you're the son of someone, and so if my dad, was a big fighter, I would expect a little fast track, of course. But at the same time, I really, looking at Conor Benn at the moment. This is the Chris Kongo show. I'm focused on me now, so that's the main thing.
If, say, Conor had fought somebody domestically, say whether it been yourself, say whether it been Michael McKinson, your past opponent, do you feel like he would have come unstuck?
100%, definitely. With me, he'll come unstuck. McKinson, boy, he's going to have to put the pressure on, but McKinson, he's very smart, and he's probably one of the most experienced now. Because I remember sparring McKinson, I had 3 fights. He was going for his first title fight. You know what I mean? And with my inactivity, I don't blame nothing, but I just know second time round, I know what I can do. But would Conor come unstuck? 100%. That's why he skipped us.
What do you make of Conor looking towards a Keith Thurman fight?
Let him go face Keith Thurman. Let him go face him. Just let him go. Just let him do his thing. If he wants to fight Keith Thurman, let him go.
What would happen if that one was to go ahead?
You know.
I'm asking a question, I don't know.
You tell me, what do you think will happen? You think he'll blow him out in 2-3 rounds?
No, I do not think he'd blow him out in 2-3 rounds. It'd be a very difficult fight.
There you go. So, at the end of the day, if he wants to go fight Keith Thurman, leave him. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm on my own road.
On your own road then, June 11th goes to plan. What next?
I'm not looking past that. I'm so focused on June the 11th, I've been thinking about it every day. All the drills, I'll be going home, driving, and I'll be thinking about the drills that we've been doing, just keeping it in my head, looking at the videos and the breakdowns. I'm watching them every day. I'm watching them before I go to sleep. I'm watching them first thing I do when I wake up. And that's what I'm going to show you guys on June the 11th for sure, so I can't wait.
Chris, whilst I got you, I just want to get your thoughts on a couple of other things. Obviously, you're training alongside Josh Taylor. It seems to be that he will face Jose Zepeda next, just waiting for that to kind of be agreed or purse bids to come to fruition. Disappointment from the British fans that maybe he didn't step in with Jack Catterall if he's going to stick at 140. What's your thoughts on it? What's Josh's thoughts on it?
Well, Josh is the undisputed champ. No one can tell him anything. He's got all the belts, barring WBA now, but he's got majority of the belts. So he's the champ. He can fight whoever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to move up, he can move up. He will still be a top contender. Why? Because he's won all the belts. He's proved himself. So I don't mind seeing the Jose Zepeda fight, and I wouldn't mind him getting back in there with Jack Catterall.
Just away from that one as well, just get your thoughts. This past weekend we saw a big London derby between Joshua Bout and Craig Richards. What did you make of that fight?
Great fight. I loved it. At the same time, I didn't really like it because they're both my mates. I've known them for a while. Just remember, I grew up at the Lynn with Craig. We started together there, and then obviously we had Boatsi, been a long time friends through the ABAs, we was on GB team together, so it was great, but it was an exciting fight. I loved it, man.